Hi everyone, it's Mike here. Thanks for joining me for another Make It video. Today we're going to be looking at another CD from our back catalogue, from our archive. This time it's the turn of our fun little chef, our Fat Luigi's Kitchen. So what I'm going to do for a change is I'm going to show you the menu system and how the actual CDs work. And then I'm going to print out a couple of sheets from the CD so you can actually see it working. So we've never done this before, so this is the first time we're going to do this. So let's load the CD up and let's have a play. Okay, so this is the welcome screen that will open up when you insert the disc into the computer. And it's made up of different sections, as you can see. I'm just going to click on the decoupage sets one, and then just walk you through using the directional arrows at the top or the page selectors at the top there, moving through the different pages that are in that first section. So this is one of the backing papers, and this is Al. This is Al Forno, and that's his corresponding backing paper with all the elements and sentiments. And this is Benito, and again here's all the different elements to the card, and then his backing paper and his sentiments. And then we have Al Fresco. Yes, I know, don't blame us for the names. And there's his backing paper, and again his sentiments. And then finally we have Mama. There she is, holding either a pie or a lovely plate of spaghetti meatballs. So again, there's her backing paper as well, with her sentiments and all the other little bits as well. You can also use this section over to the left hand side to select the pages. You don't have to use the directional arrows. You can just click on those sections or each page as you see it, and it will appear on the screen over to the right hand side. Okay, so just moving between back to Fat Luigi, and then back to the beginning again, using the directional arrows. So you can use both ways, it's entirely up to you. So back to the welcome screen, we'll have a quick look at the toppers. So these are the two-part toppers. So again, you have your main toppers, and then you have your background coordinating matte toppers. So they're the same shape, just slightly bigger, so that they matte perfectly. So again, just go through all the coordinating colours. They're exactly the same, so every colour and all the shapes coordinate, so you can use whichever one you want to. So that's the topper section. Again, you can use the right hand page selector if you want to, whichever you find easiest to navigate around the disc. Like I say, we make them as easy as we possibly can. So really, you know, it's literally click and print. When we say click and print, we always mean click and print. So just go quickly to the backing papers, and as you can see here, you have 5 different backing paper patterns. If you click on one of the backing papers, you'll see that it has 5 different colours. Again, they all coordinate and all match the colours for the card kits. So you can mix and match, you can use the backing papers for whatever you want to. You can turn them into inserts, you can turn them into wraps, you can make larger cards, you could make 8x8, you could do 6x6s. It's entirely up to you. I always say you're limited by your own imagination, but actually you're not really limited by your imagination, because we have included those card kits on there. So even if you are stuck for inspiration, you can just go straight to one of the card kits and print that out too. Okay, so I think I've shown you enough. So what I'm going to do, just quickly click on my file and then print, and then I'm going to select print, and then I'm going to tell it just to print page 1 and 2 when the dialog box opens. There you go. So current page, or click on pages, and you can then type in 1,2 or 1-2, and then you can change or select whatever page thickness or paper thickness that you're using. Personally, I'm just going to put this onto a 90-gram laser print one, and then click print. And that's about as quick or as difficult as it gets. there you go. Here are the sheets all freshly printed out as you saw, and what I need to do now, so before we can start actually putting our card together, is cut it out. So there you go. So this is what I'll do now. I'm going to go off and cut all the bits out for the card, and I will be back with you once that's all done. All my pieces have been cut out, and as per, I've gone around the edges with a Memento Tuxedo Black dual tip marker, the brush tip marker, and I've just gone around the edges just to make sure that I've covered any sort of mistakes in my cutting out that I may have done. So as you can see, I've cut out as many of the items from the sheets as I can. I've chosen my sentiment, which is the happy birthday, and again the concave corners. If you've been watching my other make it tutorials, you'll know that you don't really need a concave punch. All you have to use is just a small circle one, and you can nip out those corners with that. So all the pieces are there, all ready to go, and I've cut out my backing paper. Now when this is printed out on the sheet, it's exactly A5. So this is an A5 card blank, which is just a sheet of kind of plummy burgundy kind of colour that I folded in half, but I like to have that little bit of a border, so I've actually trimmed this down just a little bit so we do have that nice border all the way around the card blank. Now when you look at the pattern, you'll see that the circle is the gap at the top and the bottom isn't equal. It's less at the top than it is at the bottom. Now that's because we left space for you to be able to centre your sentiment on there if you want to do it that way. And the character of Luigi, because this is Luigi from the Fat Luigi CD, could sit there. Now I'm going to do it so that he sits, so the sentiment's coming over his legs like that. So I'm going to fasten down the backing paper first, and then we're going to start building up the layers. This panel here is for the inside, so that's kind of like a decorative insert panel if you want to put that in there, and then you can write above it or you can stick that on top. It's entirely up to you how you want to do that, but I'm going to stick that in last. So first of all then is to get the backing paper down, and then we can start building our layers with our lovely Luigi character there. So I'm just going to put him to one side, and all these are background items that you can add to the card if you want to. So here's my backing paper and my glue, which is nearly empty, but probably enough to do this card. So I'll just add some glue to the back, and again you can use wet glue, you can use double-sided tape, you can use tape runner, you can use whatever your usual method of sticking down is. So I'm then going to just stick that to the front of the card. Now I do have a little bit of wiggle room with this because I've used wet glue. There we go, so I'll just stick that down, and that gives us that nice border all the way around. So a nice mat, a nice frame for us to start building our layers up. Now let's just take Luigi for a second, and I'm going to stand him there. I want to start positioning these so that you can see them. I'm going to put the flag that way. I'll make sure I get that the right way around, and then add the chef one, drop the meatballs in, and then we've got the pizza one just there like that. I'm going to stick those down on the background first so that we know that Luigi's going to be framed quite nicely. So that's how I'm going to stick those down as they are there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick all those down now. All the elements there that I wanted to stick down in the background are all stuck down. Not quite grabbed yet, so just time to tuck them underneath. But they're all now glued down, they're not going to go anywhere, so we can start building our layer with our character Mr. Luigi. So I'm going to put that to one side, flip it over, and just grab some foam pads and just start adding those foam pads in some strategic areas around the character. So I'm just going to put two on his hat, like so. I'll put one just in the centre of his head, don't need a lot, and I'm going to put one his feet, one at the top of his legs, and then a couple just scattered around the body at strategic points where I know we're going to have a little bit of stress, and maybe one just there, just so that the stability throughout the shape. Okay, so I can take the backs off those. Like so. It's one of the other reasons why I don't use a lot of foam pads, or I use larger foam pads on the larger areas, because it does take quite a long time. Now I'm going to just line that up so Luigi's almost in the middle there. There we go, just like so. And then I can start adding on the rest of my decoupage layers, and I'll just put some foam pads on the back of there and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put our foam pads on the back of this layer of decoupage just here. So I'm just going to strip the backs off those, and then we can get those layered onto his legs. So I'm just lining up the points of his feet and then the points of his apron, and just gently popping excuse me, ooh, may need a little bit of a coffee. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to do the same thing with Luigi's head. So I've placed the foam pads in the same places so that if anybody pushes down on those, they will be quite stable. Okay, so I'm going to line up the top of his hat, and then line up his cravat, and then just give those a little push down. There we go. So you can see all the background is all nice and stuck down now, and I did remember to get the flag the right way around this time, so starting with the green, so you can see the pizza, the chef and the meatballs and the pizza there. And then all we're left with now is to add on the sentiment on the front. Now I've put a double layer of foam pads on the back of this one, because we've got a double layer of decoupage on Luigi's legs. That will then make sure that it sticks. So all I'm going to do is take a little bit of glue and just put a little bit on the back of there, just so we know that's where it's going to stay and stick down on his legs. So position that just across there, and then we can drop that down, and that's going to take hold just nicely, and then that's going to be as stable as anything. And there is the front of our card just about finished. So we just need to do the inside. So again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to place this towards the bottom. So I shall just use a little bit of that Zig two-way glue, like so, and then just stick that towards the bottom of the card, just to add that little bit of decoration, like that. And then we can just add a little bit of glue onto our inside sentiment, and that says today's special birthday wishes. So I'm going to put that so it's just breaking out of the circle, breaking out of that square there. So that gives us all this room to be able to write our message to whoever we're sending this Fat Luigi, fabulous Fat Luigi fun birthday card to.